Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am GrandMcLegend and today we are going to be having a look at the Doom Turtle, otherwise known as the T95. This is a tier 9 American tank destroyer and is probably one of the most heavily tanked destroyers in the game. And it is a very nice tank. I cannot say how much I really enjoy this vehicle, and I know Economics Mate loves it as well. It is probably one of his favourite tank destroyers, I believe. I can't really remember, but don't quote me on it. But yeah, this is the T95 and we're going to be discussing, is it really all doom? And basically, is it as devastating as people say it is, and hence why it is given the name it has? So we are just going to have a look at the stats and see what this tank looks like. So 1,600 hit points, and you do have 305mm of frontal armour on this thing. This is a very strong frontal tank, and it is definitely good for breakthroughs and taking down the lower tiers and low armoured tanks. Light tanks, medium tanks and poor pen heavies really struggle against this tank, so try and pick your targets wisely, not going up against Jaegeroos and all that kind of stuff. And do be aware that your hatches are also pennable, so do keep that in mind when you decide to go against any kind of vehicle. So you do have 264 meters of view range, and you do have a 77% concealment while stationary, 54 while moving, and 17 upon firing. Now, this is one of those tanks where the camera rating is absolutely busted, because if you watch Droodle's video I can't remember what it was, but it was like tier 9 view range is absolutely screwed. Or broken, I should say. And he was in an E100, and he was being spotted by this T95, and he couldn't see him. That is just how ridiculous this tank is. So you do have 2,880 DPM, which is really nice for a tank this heavy. 13.33 seconds of reload. You do have 276mm of AP pen, 320 on your APCR, and 90 on your HE. The HE is really nasty when you get to use it, and the APCR, because it is APCR, you will struggle to pen some stupid shots, honestly. 640mm of AP pen, 545 APCR damage, and 960 on your HE, which is really good, to be fair. You have a 320 damage difference from the AP to the HE, so do try and get that HE out when you can. 3.8 seconds of aim time, and you do have a 0.292 dispersion, and you do have 5 degrees of gun depression with a top speed of 20 kilometers an hour. So this tank is really slow, but it is really heavy and has a devastating gun. Now, for that, I like this tank. It is definitely good the way it is. If you asked for any more speed on the T95, well, yeah, you're not going to get it, because Wargaming are not that dumb enough to put on more speed on one of the most heavily armoured tank destroyers in the game. So what are we going to do? I'm going to use the engine speed boost to get over to the left side here. Now, I did forget to mention this tank does have the super speed boost, so do equip that on this tank, otherwise you won't be able to get that far really quickly. And I should also mention that super speed boost is really good in situations where you are trying to get back into hard cover if you're out in the open, and hence you should run it, because it is very handy, especially for a tank that has really slow maneuverability. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for that SU. Look at that SU, and he is just begging to be shot. 758 damage into the SU 130 PM, and that was actually a really bad low roll, to be honest. So this guy's actually struggling to pen me, and we are just going to miss the shell, but because the dispersion is not the best, we did miss that shell. So what I'm going to do is just shoot the Astron Rex, and now he is on 800 hit points. So we do have the SU 130 PM on that hill still, which is not an ideal situation. So I'm just going to... Wow. Wow, that was a troll shot. That was a really troll shot. But we do have the VK here. So I'm just going to sit here and wait until something gets spotted. And I want to try and blind shoot the SU-130PM, but the dispersion won't allow it. So I'm just going to stay here because they won't be able to pen me. Odds are they won't be able to pen me. So I'm just going to stay here and try and get a shot on this VK. And it does fail. So I'm just going to push forward at this point because nothing can pen me. Pretty much nothing can pen me. Except the SU-12254, but he is a tier 9 tank destroyer, so I'd expect that. So what are we going to do? We're going to miss the opportunity to shoot HE into that back chat, but we are in a good situation because the SU-130 has been killed. So the back chat does get ammo racked, which is really nasty, and we do have the Astron Rex there as well. So he is now dealt with. So I know that the VK and the SU-12254 are both behind here somewhere, so I'm just going to push forward at my top speed of 20 kilometers an hour. So we are just going to get a gun crit into the SU. Come on, this is a 150 caliber gun, I think. So we could have really got that damage out. So we do have a HE shell available here. And we do only 400 damage, but look at the block damage, 3.3k. We are absolutely tearing through this lot. And, of course, the VK does get killed, but it was a win. It was a win nonetheless, and it was a very easy win, if I'm honest. So, the T95, it's a very decent tank, like 2.4k damage. You will often get above 3k in this tank if you play it correctly. The reason I didn't do much damage was because I missed a lot of shots. If my RNG allowed it, or if I was a bit wise as to thinking, oh, will this shell actually go into this tank's tiny hatch? And, well, yeah, that was obviously a bad play from me. But we're going to try and demonstrate the devastating capabilities of this tank in this battle. So I'm going to go heavy side because, well, there is a lot more hit points and I'll be able to absolutely tear through this lot. So there are only 2 tier 9 tanks, the Destiny of which does not have premium rounds, and the Destiny doesn't have premium rounds, so we'll be able to absolutely destroy this lot. So the Defender Mark 1 is thinking he is all big and hard by saying that we have lost because we decided to go left side. Shut the hell up, Defender Mark 1. You have no idea what you're talking about. Because, well, the T95 can hold up pretty much any situation. And, well, I do in this tank. Not to be boastful, but I am really used to the playstyle of this tank. If you just go up front and take all the shots, because people will most likely bounce you. And, well, they won't be able to pen you. So we are just going to make our way very, very slowly over to these 2 heavy tanks and see what we can do against them. So I believe the rear of the Destiny is HE-able. So I'm going to pre-equip the HE and then see if we can get a look in on this Destiny. And would you look at that? Are you ready for a 1,200 roll? Okay, 1,000, I can deal with that. But you could just see that this guy, yeah, he's on a reload, but he'll bounce. Watch him bounce his shell. Because he cannot pen me. But we bounce him. But he does still bounce because the armor's just really nice on this tank. Now, it is a 6 versus 5 right now, and the other tanks are on the other side of the map. So what we are going to do is actually we're going to stay in the factory because, well, that way we don't get caught out in the open while these tanks are trying to get around us. So we are just going to sit at this entrance here and see if we can shoot anything, and odds are they will come through this entrance here as well. So what I want to do is try and be as careful as I can and try and shoot as T49, and I think he may have moved. No, he hasn't, so we'll just take the kill. And that brings it down to a 5 versus 4. So what do we do here? So we do have the FCM trying to rush, which is not a good idea in an FCM, in one of the most weakly armoured tanks in the game. But he is going to die pretty much very soon because, well, he is a very lightly armoured tank. Now, we do have the Progetto, and we do miss the opportunity to kill him, which is a bit unfortunate. But we do have the Conway over there, and it looks like the VK will be fine. So I'm just going to turn around and then try and find the Vipera. So he is on that hill. So I'm just going to... He has gone back. So I'm going to kill the Conway instead, because he is a one-shot. And who wouldn't want to kill a one-shot tank? Now, let's just make our way around here. And then we do spot the Conway. But I just hope that I do not hit his mantlet, because that is an extremely troll spot on the Conway. So we are just going to sit here actually. And we're going to wait for him to appear. And because he is not prepared, we are just going to go forward actually. And now it is just the Vipera remaining. So we are just going to make our way across here. And equip the Pramo. And miss. Yippee. We missed the shell. Okay, so it wasn't a perfect portrayal of this tank. And we did prove the Defender Mark 1 wrong. So that is just karma against the Defender Mark 1 for absolutely knowing nothing about how well the team will play when people go the different ways. So look at the damage, 1,999. But yeah, we did do 2k average this video, but it's the armor that counts. Honestly, it's the armor that counts. We didn't get that much block damage this game, but we did get a lot of block damage in the previous one, which is really, really nice. So that is basically all I have to say on this tank. Try and stay on flat ground where possible, because you don't have that much gun depression. You want to stay on the flat areas of maps. And also try and go back into cover when you're reloading, because people will aim at the hatches, and if you're against a higher caliber tank, they will shoot the lower plates, so do keep that in mind. And well, that is basically it. So if you have any requests or anything for the video, or the channel, sorry, do put them in the comments down below. If you want, like and subscribe, as it really helps me out, and so you don't miss future content. And if you want to join my Discord server, the link is in the description below. And that is basically it from me. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.